والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى نبينا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. اللهم إنا نسألك علما نافعا ورزقا طيبا وعملا متقبلا. يا حي يا قيوم برحمتك أستغيث أصلح لنا شأننا كله ولا تكلنا إلى أنفسنا طرفة عين. اللهم فقهنا في الدين وعلمنا التأويل يا رب العالمين. Alhamdulillah, today we are starting a new chapter, and that is Kitab al-Siyam, the book of fasting. Alhamdulillah, we finished Kitab al-Tahara, Kitab al-Salah, and finally we finished Kitab al-Zakat, and we are on the chapter of fasting. We will start that. We'll do an introduction to that chapter today, inshallah. قال المصنف رحمه الله ابن قدامة إمام ابن قدامة المقدسي الآثر ابن قدامة المقدسي رحمه الله. He says كتاب الصيام, the book of fasting. Fasting is something, one of the 5 pillars of Islam, and it is one of the wajibat, or one of the compulsory actions that every Muslim must do. And the scholars have defined fasting as abstaining from food, drink, and intimate relations during the daytime between dawn and dusk for the days that you're fasting, or for the month of Ramadan if you're fasting Ramadan, or any other month. But the essence is, or the action of fasting is abstaining from these 3 things from dawn to dusk, with the intention of fasting, of course. The author, rahimahullah, he starts off by saying, يجب صيام رمضان على كل مسلم بالغ عاقل قادر على الصوم. The author, rahimahullah, he says, it is compulsory to fast in the month of Ramadan for every Muslim who is baligh, aqil, qadir, and is qadir ala sawm. So let's take each condition by itself. So he says that fasting is compulsory upon, and then he mentions certain conditions or certain types of people. Number 1, it is kulli muslimin, every Muslim. And fasting is not obliged or obligated on a non-Muslim or a kafir. So if a person, for example, he becomes Muslim in the month of Ramadan, for example, a person becomes Muslim on the 15th of Ramadan, do we tell him that he has to fast those days that he's missed from number 1 to 15? Does he have to make them up? And the answer is no. We don't. He does not have to make them up, because at that time it was not compulsory or wajib upon him to fast during those days. It is only wajib or compulsory. We are only commanded to do it when a person is a Muslim. The second condition is he is baligh. Baligh meaning that he has reached the age of puberty, or he is older than that. And we've talked about in detail what the signs of bulugh are in the previous classes. However, if a child is less than the age of bulugh, so if they are dun al-bulugh, less than the age of bulugh, then it is not compulsory or wajib for them to fast. However, if they are, the scholars have said, if they are able to fast, so if it is a sabi al-mumayyiz, a child that understands himself, he understands the right and wrong. He's at that age where he's able to decipher between right and wrong, and he has the ability to fast, then he should be commanded to fast by his parents, just like the Prophet ﷺ told us to, or commanded us to, command our children to pray at the age of 7. So a child that's able to, he should be commanded by his parents, or he should be encouraged by his parents to fast. And this is so that when he becomes baligh and when it becomes compulsory upon him, it will be easy for him to do the fasting. The third condition is aqil. So he must be aqil, or he must be sane in order to fast. And the person that is insane, that is majnoon, it is not wajib upon them to fast. So if a person is in a state where he is not 100% there, he's in a vegetable state, for example, on a sick bed, etc., it is not wajib for that person to fast or any other ibadat at that time. And the last is qadirin ala sawm. He has to be able to fast. And the ability to fast here means that the person is able to fast without deteriorating his own health or without putting harm upon himself. So if a person, for example, he's in a very, very old age and he's not able to fast, he's physically not able to fast, then for him, there are, alhamdulillah, other exceptions in the Sharia. And for a person that is of old age, is not able to fast, or a person that is chronically sick and does not think or that they will get better later on, then they would have to feed one poor person, one miskin, for every day that they are not able to fast. The author, rahimahullah, he goes on to say, وَيُؤْمَرُ بِهِ الصَّبِي إِذَا أَطَاقَ. He says that the child should be ordered to fast if he can tolerate it. So if the child, as we said before, is able to fast, then he should be commanded, or he should be ordered to fast if he can tolerate it. Then the author, rahimahullah, he goes on to say, وَيَجِبُ بِأَحَدِ ثَلَاثَةِ أَشْيَاء. And it becomes compulsory, and he's speaking about the month of Ramadan, it becomes compulsory to fast with one of the following three things. كمال الشعبان ورؤية هلال رمضان ووجود غيم أو قتر ليلة الثلاثين يحول So the author, rahimahullah, he mentions three things that it makes it wajib for a person to fast. The first one is seeing the moon, seeing the new moon. And this is if you see the new moon, of course, on the 29th of, the first one is Kamal al-Sha'ban. Kamal al-Sha'ban, meaning the completion of Sha'ban, which is 30 days. So in Islam, or in the Islamic calendars, the most that a month can go, or the greatest number that the greatest number of days that a month can go is 30 days. And if Sha'ban, if we do not see the moon on the 29th day of Sha'ban, then we complete the month 30 days. And once we complete the month, even if you don't see the moon, then the next day will be the starting of Ramadan. The second point he mentions is ru'yatul hilal. So seeing the moon on the 29th of Sha'ban, or the night of the 29th of Sha'ban. And if we see the moon on the 29th of Sha'ban, then we will cut short the month Sha'ban to 29 days, and we will start the month of Ramadan on the 1st of Ramadan, of course, once we see the moon, and it will become wajib for everyone to fast on that day. The last is these two, so that we mentioned, Kamal al-Sha'ban and Ru'yat al-Hilal. When we see the moon and the completion of Sha'ban, by ijma', all of the scholars have agreed that it becomes wajib for a person to fast when these two things happened, or if one of these two things happened. The last point that the author mentions, it is the opinion of the Hanabila, the Hanbali scholars, or the Hanbali school of thought, the Hanbali madhab, and all of the other madahib are take another opinion regarding this mas'ala. However, we will mention the mas'ala. And he says, وَوُجُودِ غَيْمِ أَوْ قَتْرٍ لَيْلَةَ الثَّلَاثِينَ, seeing the crescent, seeing the, or the presence, if there is the presence of clouds on the night of the 30th of Sha'ban, that prevents it from seeing. So if there is, if there are clouds on the night of the 30th of Sha'ban, then it becomes wajib. It becomes wajib for to fast the next day. So it becomes wajib to fast the next day, and this is according to the Hanabila, the Hanbali school of thought. So again, you would cut short Sha'ban to 29 days, and you will fast because of the clouds or whatever it is, the weather that is preventing you from seeing the new moon. And we will end up here, inshallah. Sallallahu ala nabiyyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa ashabihi ajma'in.